So Ahmed, thank you so much for your time. It's an honor to meet you, and
Me too.
yeah, I just want my audience to hear your story because I've been following you online, and as we were talking before we started there, I rewatched a video of yours where your family are on the street and they're unsheltered, and every time I watch it, I cry. Um, and I feel like the world should be looking at your content, as a brave, beautiful representative of your people. Anything I can do to try and amplify your story and your testimony, I would love to do. So, first of all, thank you. And how are you today? Before, if you want to get into telling people who you are and what you're about, how are you feeling right now and how are you feeling today, please?
First of all, I'm thankful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm thankful for you to make that possible and to give me the chance to to amplify my voice and to reach my voice to the people. First of all, I will talk about my story. I'm a normal human being. I always dream to be doctor. I always dream to enter medicine. The story started in 2010 when my little brother died from a car accident in Gaza. He we went to the hospital to treat him after the car accident. Uh, he was he was the injury was exactly directly to his head, and he had intracranial bleeding, severe intracranial hemorrhage, and we needed an urgent surgery to him to do. But at that time, there was no good neurosurgeons at that time in Gaza Strip. That's why he passed away. He died. And then I promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I sit with myself and with Allah, and I prayed and I promised Allah to enter College of Medicine and to specialize in neurosurgery to be able to help people exactly like my brother's situation, exactly like my brother case, to try to do what I couldn't do to my brother. And that's
Mm.
why I entered medicine, alhamdulillah, and I graduated. Then I graduated. I entered medicine in in Egypt at Ain Shams University. I graduated with excellence, with honor, alhamdulillah.
Wow.
Uh, I was the 10th on my whole college, alhamdulillah. And then I I graduated in 2022, and then I returned to Gaza to make my internship there in the hospitals of Gaza. And after that, I was planning to travel to UK to specialize in neurosurgery and to start my specialty, my dream, which is neurosurgery, to help every case that is similar to my brother, that I couldn't provide help for my brother at that time because I was at school. And then, alhamdulillah, Allah gave me the opportunity before even traveling to UK. The genocide started during my internship. The genocide started during my internship, just before 5 months before I traveled to UK and start my specialization in neurosurgery. My exam was on the 15th of February, and after that exam, if I pass it, I should receive my UK visa, and then I will travel to start my specialty in UK. But the genocide started, and cannot believe I I haven't anything to stop me. I was rushed to the consultant of neurosurgery at the hospital at the European Gaza Hospital, and I asked him to volunteer at the neurosurgery department in this genocide, because we didn't know what it will end. We didn't know
Oh,
what we will receive, how many patients will receive. So I decided to try to help my people in the specialty that I love. And the consultant, Dr. Muhammad Al Hubi, he agreed to make my volunteering in the hospital. And I started since the 7th of October at the European Gaza Hospital, trying to do my best, helping my people. I did many surgeries, especially like the same case of my brother.
wow.
Really, really, I feel so honored. I feel so fantastic that I helped and I saved lives. I saved lives exactly like the case of my brother. Really, I couldn't imagine that. And I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He brought me in that position. He helped me. And also I thank Dr. Muhammad Al-Hubi, because he gave me the opportunity to practice and to do surgeries to help my people as much as I can. Really, the genocide was so terrible. Every day I was I was at the hospital continuously 7 days. I just go to home to see my parents and my family once a week. Once a week, just little hours, and then I return to the hospital, because the cases, the injured patient doesn't at that time, they were so horrible, and so many injured patients a day. So we couldn't leave the hospital every day.
Yeah.
Just we leave the hospital every 5 to 7 days, some hours to see our family, and then we return to work. What I have seen, I cannot I cannot explain how it was. Really, it was a lot of flesh, a lot of flesh surrounding us, a lot of flesh. I I can't forget one patient, female patient. She was nearly 90, 29 years old, and she arrived to us amputated both lower limbs, just from above level, from higher level, and just she has his higher part of the body. She was alive. she has she also had a trauma in the head. I went rapidly with Dr. Muhammad to that surgery, and we went here to surgery. She underwent a craniectomy surgery in the head,
Yes.
trying to save his life. But she lived, but she lived just with half a part. She lived without legs, without his lower part.
Yeah.
We tried to make her to live, because we don't know if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is planning for her a better life. Yeah, it's
Yes.
she will not walk again. She will not find a way to walk again. But imagine where I found her limbs. Where I found her limbs. After I finished the surgery, her sister arrived in another uh, package, in the same bombshell, in the same bombing of the same house. I found the limbs of her in the package of her sister. Her sister
God.
died, and we buried the part of the girl that we did the surgery for her with her sister. We didn't tell her that your parts were with your sister, because it's so terrible. It so will be
Yes.
so
Yes.
traumatizing for her, because she she will not be able to receive the death of her sister. How she will receive that her parts was with her sister, and we buried the parts of her with her sister. That's just a symbol, just an example of what I have
Yes.
seen. I have seen a lot. I cannot explain well, and no one can imagine what I have seen, only by being with me on the ground. Only
Yeah.
if he come to Gaza, and only if he arrived to Gaza to see what I have seen, what I have built, what I have done. A lot of terrible situation. That's why I'm talking about the post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
Really, it it need to be changed. The classification need to be changed. We need
Yeah,
to
because you
put
were saying, weren't
something.
you saying in your video on that it's no longer enough, the classification of severe
Yeah,
trauma, that what you've gone through is completely
exactly.
new, you know? Um can I just ask on that, because I'm listening to you there and I'm thinking a Western audience will just not even understand, I don't think, because I'm finding it hard to understand how you, as a young man, like, how old are you, Ahmed? Do you mind me asking? How old are you?
29.
So you're 29, a young man, in your first big position in a hospital, and you go through this level of daily trauma. How did you keep going? Like, how does somebody not go, I can't do this? So can you take us through what's going on in your head, that you get up and you go to work every day to be there at the front line of your own people going through a genocide, and you're a frontline worker helping them directly? How do you do it?
Every day at the end of that day, the ideas come to me to stop that, to
Yeah.
leave the hospital, because I couldn't tolerate more. I couldn't tolerate what I have seen every day, what I'm seeing, what I'm dealing with every day. Because not because I'm afraid, no, because I couldn't. I couldn't receive my people. I couldn't receive my beloved with my hands, and dealing with them and saving their lives. But after I have these ideas, then I talk to myself. If I left the hospital, so the other, my colleague also will leave the hospital, and no one will be there to receive the injured patients and to try to give them the health aids. I know that is so terrible. I know that the trauma that I had is so big. But what I have did, it makes me relieved that this trauma, inshallah, will be relieved. The post-traumatic stress disorder that inside me, it will be relieved by Allah force,
Yeah.
by Allah, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because I did a lot for my people, and I try to be in continuous working, in constant working tirelessly, without a stop, without a stop. Because if I stop, another colleague will stop also, and then another colleague will stop. So the hospital will be without any health workers. So the patients will, the injured patients will come to the hospital, and they will not receive any aids.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to continue. I couldn't eat well at the hospital, because after I receive, at least in each bombing of each house, at least we receive 20 martyrs to, and 50 injured patients, at least,
Yes.
in each one. And after that, how can I go to my quarter, to my room at the hospital, and eat well and sleep well? I couldn't sleep well. I couldn't eat well. I lost 16 kilogram just in five
Wow.
months during the genocide. I was very healthy. I was in very healthy shape and in very
Yeah.
healthy body. I am an MMA fighter. I
Yes.
love sport. Yeah, I love sport, and I love boxing. But I have lost 16 kilogram just because I don't have desire to eat. When I receive the patients, when I receive the injured patients, and also when I see the tears of their loved, when, just for example, I couldn't forget, forgive me for that, for what happened for one friend. He just arrived to the hospital because the occupation has bombed his house on his family, and
Yeah.
he just arrived to make sure that they are alive, or some one of them they still alive or not. Whole family did. Whole family was deleted from the life. Just he will live, he will continue in this life alone, without his parents, without his brothers, without his wife, without his children. The whole family died. The whole family died. That's why I decided to continue trying to do my best. And if 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 I haven't a mission, or if I haven't a goal or a dream to achieve and to continue, and then to retain with the good abilities, with the greater abilities, and with the greater skills, to help my people in the coming years, I wouldn't leave Gaza. I wouldn't leave Gaza until the genocide ends. But
Yes.
really, 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 I just see that I need to complete my dream. I need to achieve what I am trying to achieve,
Yeah.
especially continuing my mission. I'm thinking that if I will continue my specialty, I will have a greater abilities, a greater skills, so I will give more to my family, and will give more to my people, inshallah. That's why I decided to leave. I will I wasn't deciding to leave because I am afraid, or because I am tired from helping people. No,
Yes.
no, I'm just afraid on my family and on my people that I have left in Gaza. I couldn't evacuate them with me because the situation is so horrible here. A lot of thousands of dollars per each person to leave Gaza. It's so horrible.
Yes.
What
Yes.
I
And
think you hear
I'm gonna
about
come
that.
to you leaving in a moment, but I'd love just to ask you another couple of things again, if you don't mind. And if I'm asking anything that's re-traumatizing you, or making you think about something you don't want to, like, just please just tell me you'd rather not talk about it. But like, were you in fear for your own life as well? Because me, I'm watching stuff on Al Jazeera, I'm watching stuff on social media. That's the sense I'm getting from, and anyone I've spoken to online say the reality is much, much worse. So whatever we're seeing on social media, and on Al Jazeera, you need to multiply it. It's so much worse. But you're seeing
So,
horror in front of you, of, like you described that lady, like it's like something out of a horror film all the time. And as well as that, are you afraid of your own life for your own life all the time? Because the impression I'm getting is that the occupation is threatening even sacred spaces like churches and hospitals and whatnot. So are you afraid you're going to be killed every day you go to work?
no, I'm not afraid about myself. I'm always just afraid about my family, but
Wow.
the ones that I love. I never afraid about myself, because I have full faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will protect me, and the death of each one of us will come in its time. That is planned by Allah, only by Allah. And no one can harm me, no one can get harm to me, except by the decision and by the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why I have full faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that no harm will come to me, and no any threat can make me afraid, because I have full faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I have a mission, and I have a dreams to achieve, and I will benefit inshallah the whole humanity, especially my people in Gaza, inshallah, after finishing my specialty in neurosurgery.
Wow. Again, that's going to be an idea that's going to be tough for the West to get their head round, because we're very kind of self-centered here. We're very self-orientated. It'll be a strange one to get your head around that, but like, yeah, it's beautiful and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, without your faith right now, how would you make sense of what's going on? I mean, that's what I would wonder. But so you don't have a fear of being killed yourself, which is, I get it, I just about get it. But do you have anger? So you're going to work every day, and the what your people are going through, it's not a natural disaster, it's a man-made disaster. So it's a man-made mass starvation at the moment. The bombs and the bullets are coming from the West. The money is coming from the West, is sponsoring the genocide of your own people. Are you
exactly.
not out of your mind angry? Or how do you what do you do with the anger that surely you must experience?
I'm so angry. I'm not so angry just from the Western that they are sponsored this genocide. I'm so angry also from the Arabic countries that
Yes.
they are still silent, from the Muslim countries that they are still silent when they can make an action to stop this genocide, when they can take an action to stop this genocide. I think Netanyahu has made a he just made just like a try. He just make a trial. He will
Yes.
bomb. He will bomb a hospital, and if the whole world make an action, so he will stop.
Yes.
Al
Yes. Yes.
Ma'madani
Yes.
Hospital. It was at the first of the genocide, at the first of the war, at the first of the aggression. He bombed Al Ma'madani Hospital, and 500 people was martyred at that bombing. No one made action. No one made
Yes.
anything. Just talk
Yeah.
about that idea, about that genocide, and about that genocide that 500 people was killed just during this bombing of the hospital itself. Then they forget everything. They dealt normally. They kept their life normally without making an action. That's why
Mm.
Netanyahu then continue to bomb and to enter each hospital, to bomb each university, each school, even the UNRWA school, everywhere, even the safe places, he bombed them.
Yeah.
Even the safe places, he bombed them. That's why I'm just ashamed of the whole countries of the whole world, especially the Muslim and Arab countries, that they making decorations, and they were preparing since 4 days to receive Ramadan, to receive the holy month of Ramadan, by buying a lot of things, by buying a lot of foods, and by buying a lot of decorations to design their houses and to receive Ramadan. How dare that? How dare they are
Yeah.
receiving Ramadan with a lot of happiness, and we are receiving Ramadan with a lot of starvation and famine. We don't have food. We don't have food. I haven't eat fruits since I have been managed to evacuate from Gaza, because my family, they have no fruits. My family, they have nothing sweet to eat. They have no meat. They have no chicken. Since I was 145 days in Gaza. In these days, I didn't eat fruits. I didn't eat sweets. I didn't eat. We don't have nothing there. We have nothing there. We don't have meat. We don't have chicken. Every day I call I try to call my family to see what they prepared to eat, because we are in Ramadan and we fast at least 14 hours a
Yes.
day. And then after that we try to find something good, something make us more powerful and make more healthier to eat, to resist for the next day, to eat, to fast. If we will not eat well, so we will not be resisting to fast 14 hours continuously without drinking, without eating nothing. And that's why I'm always trying to get to my family to see what they are preparing, what they are eating. Nothing, nothing, just canned food, and they buy it, and they buy it. The canned food that arrived as aid, at the charity aid, they entered it to us with money, to the to some people, and they buy it. They buy a lot of the aids in the markets in Rafah, and we buy it with the high prices. We don't have money in
Yes.
Gaza, and also we don't have a lot of food in Gaza. That's why I feel guilty when I eat something sweet. I feel guilty when I eat fruits, and there is no fruits and there is no sweets in Gaza. That's why I'm so ashamed from the people that they are receiving Ramadan with a lot of fruits, with a lot of meats, with a lot of vegetables, with a lot of sweets. and they are not making any action to stop this genocide. We need just, if you ask me what your hope and or
Yeah.
what you dream to in this moment, especially in this moment, I hope ceasefire. I hope this genocide to end, because I'm constant worrying, I'm in constant fear about my family. I don't fear about myself. I don't fear about being killed by any threat from the seasonist.
Yeah.
I don't fear them. I fear on my family, because they are still under the genocide. If they will not be die by the genocide and by bombing, they will be dying by the starvation and the famine they are. Really, I need this genocide to end. I need these people, these countries to make an action. When they make an action, when they can stop this genocide, we are in the sixth month of the genocide and nothing happened, nothing changed. Only the continuous bombing, the continuous killing is continuing. Also, there was added on the bombing and on the killing, the starvation. we are
Yes.
now we are now facing the starvation and the famine, and people are dying in my country, in Gaza. They are dying from starvation, from hunger. Now they are dying from hunger more than from being killed.
Yes.
We are so tired from that. We need an action. We
Yeah.
need ceasefire.
I um I agree with you 100% on Israel, as you say, doing a kind of a test to see how much they'll get away with. And I think they've even done that with allies. I feel with the US, every new thing they do is a test to see how much can they get away with before the US kind of reins them in. And it's just step by step, right up to now a ground invasion in Rafah, and that's what they're threatening. And the US are saying no, that's the red line. But they've said the previous things are red lines, so they feel like they can get away with it. And even as I'm talking about that now, a ground invasion in Rafah, to me, over here in Ireland, it's an abstract thing. But to you, that sends a shiver down your spine. That terrorizes you because your family are right there right now, and
Yeah.
like the empathy I feel right now is I've never felt anything like it in my life. But can you even just tell us, like for instance, how are your family today? Are you able to keep in touch with them all the time? Is it constantly on your mind? Are you in touch with them?
I'm so sad to say that I'm not in contact with them all over the time, because there is no internet connection there. I
Yes.
have I just have in contact with them when I was in Gaza, because I have an electronic SIM, so I can contact the whole world outside Gaza and inside Gaza. And
Yeah.
I was their Wi-Fi. I was connecting internet to my family, to my parents, to take care of their beloved. But now I I have at least 10 days evacuated. I just talked to my mother and to my father just twice.
Oh my
Just
god.
twice. That's why I'm in continuous worrying about them.
Of
I just
course.
talked to them twice. There is no internet connection there. Only I'm trying to get to one friend that he has eSIM. Then I begging him or asked him to go to my family in Rafah to make sure that they are alive, they are still safe. That's why I'm in continuous worrying about them, and that's why I want, at least if I couldn't evacuate them as soon as possible, at least to stop this fire, to stop the genocide, then I would be relieved somehow until I can evacuate them.
Yes.
That's why. And I'm so afraid that the US is supporting Israel in getting into Rafah. If they enter Rafah, it's a really genocide. I can't imagine how it will be my feelings and my fear on my family and on my people. It's in Rafah. There are more than 1.5 million people in Rafah, just in Rafah. So I'm so afraid that after
Yes.
Ramadan they just suspend the entering Rafah for Ramadan, and I think they are planning to enter Rafah after Ramadan. I'm so worried about that. That's why I
Of
need I need
course,
this genocide to stop. When they
of
can take
course.
action.
So, Ahmed, where are you right now? Tell our listeners. So, you said that you left, was it 12 days ago? And can you tell us about leaving and what difficulty it was in actually getting out and where you are right now?
Yeah, leaving was leaving Gaza was so terrible for me because I just leave, and I know that I left my family and my people and my injured patients behind me. But as I said, I have a mission to complete. I have a dream to complete. And then I hope that I will return to Gaza with the greater abilities and with the greater skills after I finish my specialty, inshallah. And then I will return with the greater abilities to help my people more and more, inshallah. I went outside and I'm now in Cairo, in Egypt, at home with one of my friend, his Gazan friend, that he is studying medicine in Egypt. Uh, I hoped that I could evacuate my family with me, but I couldn't. I haven't a lot money to evacuate them. We obliged to pay a lot of money to evacuate our families, to evacuate each one.
Yeah,
So
can you
ashamed.
tell me more about that? So who's benefiting from, because I get sent on stuff all the time from people trying to raise money to get their family out of Gaza. So who's is it the Israelis? Is it the Egyptians? Why is it such a high price? And who's benefiting from that financially? Can you tell us about that?
If I tell you about that, I think I will be in trouble. I'm not afraid about myself. I can't talk about them. I can't. No, no, no. I
Okay,
can't talk
okay, I
about.
understand.
I can't talk
Yeah,
about them. I'm not afraid about myself, but I will be afraid about my people and about my family in Gaza because they are still waiting to be on the list to
of course.
evacuate. They are still be waiting to evacuate. If they will be known, then maybe they can stop all that shit, and I hope it stop. I
Yes,
hope
yes,
it will stop. But if it stop, they will close the Rafah land crossing, so they will, no one of the Palestinian can be evacuated, even with high prices,
I get it.
nor by low prices.
Yeah,
That's why everyone is keeping silence about that issue, because I am evacuated as a Palestinian, as Gazan person, evacuated. But the rest of my family, they are still trapped in Gaza. If I talk about them, if I talk about what they are making, so ashamed, and they taking a lot of thousands of dollars by each one. I have evacuated. I have paid $8,000 to evacuate, just to evacuate myself. Just to evacuate myself,
yes,
I
yes.
paid $8,000.
Wow.
And if I talk about them, so everything will stop, and they will stop this. The only way to get out through Gaza is through this shit, through this thing, and through paying a lot of $1,000. And if I talk about them, for example, and we try to stop them, they will stop,
Understand.
but no one can get out Gaza.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know that a lot of thousands of Gazan people, they are trying to save their lives and the lives of their beloved to get out Gaza, and I will harm them if I talk.
I understand. I understand completely. It's a question for another day, and we'll talk about it some other time. But
Yeah, we
you
we
know,
will talk inshallah about it after the end of this genocide, inshallah.
yes, yes. We need to look at the big picture for now. I get that totally. Somebody might come across our podcast and they might say, "Oh my God, Tig is talking to a guy from Gaza, and he's a doctor, and well, he says he's a doctor anyway." Because a lot of people in Gaza are saying that they're doctors, but they're actually in the resistance. What would you say to people? And by the way, not that I wouldn't support the resistance, but the Western perspective is because they've swallowed a lot of propaganda. So in Gaza, we're led to believe that, first of all, hospitals and all these places, they're all legitimate targets because there's tunnels underground and Hamas are present. And also, most people are terrorists, and you guys don't want peace, and you all hate Jews. That would be like a
Yes,
part of a kind of a Western narrative that might sound ridiculous, but I think people in the middle would kind of think that's probably true, unless they're watching Al Jazeera or they're reading books. So, what would you say to
yes.
that Western narrative?
About that they are not sure that I am doctor, or what
No,
exactly?
no, I mean that's just a stupid joke. But they would feel like the hospital that you work in, for instance, there's terror tunnels, to use
Ah,
Israeli
yeah,
propaganda
yeah, yeah,
terminology,
yeah.
underneath, and that you're all basically in the resistance. Yes, you're a doctor by day, but you're probably a member of Hamas by night, and that would be across the board. That you all love violence, and that you all can't live in peace with Israelis. What would you say
No,
to that?
I worked during the genocide, the whole days of the genocide during the hospital, and I reside at the European Gaza Hospital more than at my home, more than at the place, the displaced home of my family. That's why what I want to say, that I have seen everything, and I have seen everything inside the hospital, and no one is inside the hospital is belong to Hamas or belong to anyone of this group, because
Yeah.
the hospital only only contain only contain doctors, nurses, and injured patients, and we trying to help them. We make a swear to Allah to help them. That's why I'm talking. No, it has no sense to make our hospitals for them because we will be under threat, and we will be under fear from being bombed if
Yes.
they are received us inside the hospital. That's why we are so careful of that. We are so careful of being just, it is an health governmental building, hospital. So its main aid, or its main goal, is to receive patients and to give them the relief, and to give them the aid as much as we can.
So, for instance, one of the Israeli propagandists, Elon Levy, I think is his name, who's an
Mhm.
extraordinarily unpleasant individual, has said recently that there are no restrictions on aid getting into Gaza at all. So that Gaza is effectively lying to the world that there are no restrictions, and that people have enough to eat. So can you give us a sense of so from the last week that you were there, I mean, as much as you can without re-traumatizing yourself, like what are you looking at both inside and outside work? What does Gaza look like, and what are the people presenting with in terms of nutrition, or how are the people during this onslaught?
I'm so ashamed of from what he says, but I have a lot of videos on my phone
Yes.
proving the famine and the genocide.
Yes.
I just presented a little of them on through my Instagram, but I have a lot of other videos. I didn't I didn't show them to the whole world because they are so traumatizing. They are so
Yes.
traumatizing, and they are so sad videos. And I think the Instagram will block me if I post these videos.
They will.
We are in Gaza. We are living in a real famine. We are living in a real starvation. It is a really famine, and it is just less than 10% of the whole aid that they are planned to enter. They get the aid inside just 10% of the aid. I When I went outside Gaza, and when I evacuated, when I evacuated, I have seen with my eyes. I didn't hear from anyone. I have seen with my eyes the full the high numbers of trucks that full with aids, and they are just waiting the Israeli permission to be given to the Egyptian side to enter these aids. A lot of trucks, thousands of trucks. They are waiting on the Egyptian side. They are waiting on the Egyptian side. Look at me. Imagine from Rafah until I arrive Ismailia. Ismailia, it is a city just beside to Cairo. It is just beside to Cairo. It's a
Yes.
very long distance. It's a very long distance. The whole this distance, it was a lot of trucks. Every street I walk because you know that we enter Rafah, we enter Cairo through buses. We don't have airports
Yes.
and we don't have airplanes to go through it.
Yes.
Just we are evacuating. We are evacuating from Gaza to Egypt across cars and buses. Uh, and we during my trip to Cairo, really, I have seen thousands of trucks full with aids and full with the nutrition, full with a lot of clothes. They are just waiting a permission from the Israeli side to enter Gaza, and then after that, at least 50% of these aids, the Israeli side stolen them,
Yes.
and the rest is still waiting the permission. Who the truck that they didn't the truck that the Israeli side didn't make approve or get agreed to this truck to enter. They took them. They took the truck with the whole aid that they contain.
My God.
That's why they are stalling a lot of aids. They are stalling a lot of aids.
Do you know, I was going to ask. I'm just going to ask you another two questions. Say, but one I think is, I mean, you've touched on it before, but if you could speak to people in this part of the world, so obviously I'm in Ireland, but if you could speak to people in Europe generally, say, and the US, just ordinary people, what would you say? What would you say to them to try and change their minds or perspective on what's going on? What would you recommend they do?
I recommend them not to be tired, not to be silenced, not to be blind anymore. And the truth is so clear that we are innocent, that they are killing children, and they are not making difference between Hamas group or
Mm.
children or women. We are the numbers of the women and the number of children that have killed this, and during this genocide is so high. That make proof and make sense that this genocide is a really genocide, and it's not against Hamas. It's against each Palestinian. It's against each Palestinian. That's why I recommend and I hope of all of you in Europe to be supporting to us, and to keep to keep talking about us, to keep boasting about us, and not to return to your normal routine life and forget us. We are still dying in Gaza. We are still in severe starvation. My family and my people, they are still in severe starvation in Gaza. Please don't stop talking. Don't stop boasting about us. Don't stop trying to do your best. Don't stop boycotting a lot of, like, McDonald's. When I want to talk, I want to tell you a story. When I
Yes.
returned to Khan Yunis, which is
Yeah.
my home there, when I returned to Khan Yunis after the occupation have left the area where I born and where I live, I wanted to see it. I have I have a missing
Yeah. Of
to
course.
hear to it. So I decided to make it. I know it's dangerous. I know it's dangerous to go there, but I decided to go with my two brothers. We went there, and we have seen a lot of things so terrible there. We have seen a lot of Pepsi can, a lot of McDonald's meals, a lot of Kentucky meals. They were eating these things during their bombing to us, during their killing to us. They were taking strength and health from these meals, from these drinks, and you are still buying these things and you are still eating these things. We have seen with our eyes. We don't need to any proof that they are supporting Israel. We don't need any proof that they are supporting
Yeah.
financially Israel. And for example, here in Egypt, uh, a lot of Egyptian, alhamdulillah, the Egyptian people is supporting us so much. A lot of Egyptian people, they are still boycotting these
Yeah.
restaurants like McDonald's. For example, McDonald's, after a lot of failing, a lot of failure,
Yeah.
financial fail, he posted on his restaurants, the our flag, and he says that we
Wow.
are yeah, it's so ridiculous, and that doesn't make sense. He says under the flag he says, I will take a picture of that, and I will send it to you inshallah today,
Oh my
at the
God.
evening inshallah, after breaking my fasting. I will go to one of the restaurants of McDonald's, and I will see you what they are posting, just to convince the Egyptian people to go and to buy from them.
Oh my
They
God.
are they are posting the Egyptian and the Palestinian flags, and they are saying, we are Egyptian and we are not Israeli. We are not supporting
Wow.
Israel. We are supporting Palestinian people. How dare that? I have seen with my
Oh
eyes.
my
I have
God.
seen with my eyes the meals of McDonald's and of Kentucky in the places that where the occupations and the Israeli army were residing in Khan Yunis. I have seen with my eyes. I don't want anyone to prove to me that they are not. They are supporting.
Yes.
We have seen a
Yes.
lot of things. That's why, please
Oh my God.
keep boycotting, keep posting, keep talking about us until any change, any serious change from the US government, because we know very well that the only government that can stop Israel is the US government. The US government is the only government that can stop the Israeli army. That's why I'm just that's why I'm just begging of all of you. I'm just of all of you, begging of all of you to keep posting and to keep talking about us until this genocide ends, until ceasefires occur, because we are so tired, we are so traumatized, we are so hungry. We are a human being, exactly like you, the European countries and the European people. We have dreams. We have a lot of feelings. We have a lot of dreams to achieve. We love this life. We love to live. We love to live comfortably. We love to live normally. We love to live and interesting what is in the life. That's why I need all of you to keep boasting and to keep talking about us.
That's beautiful, man. That is so beautiful. So look, we're coming to the end. So I just wanted to ask you two last quick things. Sorry, now it's taken longer than I thought, but I just wanted to ask: are you able to, receive any treatment for your trauma right now? You said that you're not eating. And I understand that, of course, you're traumatized by what's going on with your family, but you obviously have post traumatic stress disorder, which you've described so eloquently in that video that people should check out on your Instagram page. You said that you're at not a severe level, worse than that, a Palestinian level, is the way you put it. Are you receiving any treatment for that right now? And how are you
I,
coping?
s- I started I started I started
Okay.
to receive treatment, and I went to a psychiatrist, a good psychiatrist, one an Egyptian doctor who teach who taught me at the university, faculty of medicine.
Yeah.
And I talked to her. And also I have one of my of Dr. Wissam have contacted me. He is a specialist in post-traumatic stress disorder and acupuncture, Chinese acupunctures.
Oh, wow.
he talked he talked to me, and he wanted to help me also. I didn't meet him yet, but I will meet him inshallah, and I think he will make me a lot of sessions to help me and to try to relieve my trauma.
Yes. Yes. Okay, well, look, Ahmed, it's been an absolute honor to speak to you, and I've cried
Me
with you
too.
there. Um, I have got so much love and respect for you, both you and your people, and I would like you to finish up by saying what's your hope, what's your dream for both you and your people. What's the future in an ideal way, God willing?
My my dream for me and for my people. For my people first. For my people and my family is to cease fire. To cease fire as soon as possible. And my dream for me is to be a great, 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 great neurosurgeon, inshallah, and to help as much as I can from outside and from inside, especially my Gazan people, inshallah. And I have to accomplish that, inshallah. I have full faith in Allah that I will accomplish that. And yeah, I am severely traumatized, but I'm very strong, and I get my strength from Allah always by praying and reading Quran. And Alhamdulillah, I'm very strong to continue and to start my dream. And inshallah, in the coming years, I will be a great neurosurgeon, inshallah, and I will help a lot of people, inshallah.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your
Thank you
time.
so much, too. Thank you, thank you. I'm so happy to talk to you.